Hi there, my name is Hill-Akridge, and I am pleased to say that I am your long-distance professor. I'm happy to help you with whatever questions you might have, and hopefully I will be some help for you. I know that I'm going to leave my information with Judy, so you can contact me if you ever need it, because you're probably going to have some questions along the way. But I believe that the first week we are starting with highlighting and shadowing, and which is also known as contouring. And basically we're going to be starting with the skull mask. And you may have seen these before. You may have seen them if you're into makeup. People do what are called sugar skulls, and they're very elaborate makeup with the skull, basically, and it's very elaborate, very colorful, sometimes depending on what the design is. But and I would actually, before you start doing the application of makeup, take some time to Google skulls, Google image it, and you're gonna want to see how it relates to your own face. As you can see, you want to take some time and actually feel your face and feel, you know, where the bone is, and actually where it stops, and where the fleshy part starts, where there isn't bone, and that's where you're going to be shadowing. And I'll show that to you during my application. But as you can see, there's no bone where the eye is, and where the temples are, and like right under the cheeks. And that's, you're going to be doing some shadowing in there. And I believe that you're using your white makeup and your dark brown. And I don't have that in front of me, but as soon as I start my application, I'll show you what I'm using. And if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to ask me at any point. I'm not going to show you the entire application. I'm just going to show you the beginning and the end, because it would take an awful long time for you to actually watch, and it will take you a while. If you do a good job, it's going to take you a while to complete the application on your own face, because you're going to want to have a smooth face, or you're not going to want to have any streaking or anything like that, and that will take time, and it'll probably annoy you at first. Your hand will probably get tired, or your arm, but you'll get used to it, and I look forward to doing this with you. Like I said, I won't be doing the whole application, but you will definitely get a good idea of what we're working with, and that's about it. So again, I'm glad to work with you, and let's begin. Okay, you're gonna want to have a good prep station to put on your makeup. Make sure you are in a room that is well lit, and you have a mirror that so you can see everything. You don't want it to be ill lit, because you're gonna have to fight with shadows, and you don't want to have to do that. So make sure that you can see your face very well, and make sure that you have a headband so that you don't your hair doesn't have to fight with your makeup. It'll get really annoying. So just make sure that you have your hair out of your face, because you're gonna be working on it for a while. And also, you're going to want to wash your face. The oil that comes from your skin during the day is you don't want to have to deal with that, and you don't want to have to deal with leftover makeup or anything like that you might have worn during the day. So just make sure that you're gonna wash your face and make sure it's dry. You can use a little bit of moisturizer, but not too much, because again, there are definitely do's and don'ts when it comes to application of makeup, and certain things are just gonna make it more difficult. So just make sure that you put just a little bit of moisturizer on if you're going to do it. That way it'll seep in the skin. Give it a moment to make sure that it gets in the skin and it's relatively dry. Also, I know that you should have this, or a couple of these, in your kit. It's a makeup sponge, and it's your applicator. And I'm going to ask that you also put this under water and run it through your faucet at least, and squeeze it in and out, and make sure that you've doused it pretty good, because the difference between a dry sponge and a wet sponge is huge. This is much more flexible, and this is not very flexible at all. And you just cannot do what you need to do during application that you can with a wet sponge. Now make sure it's not dripping wet. You need to squeeze out all the water, but the difference is just huge in flexibility. You can get into little places, you know, and up here, or you know, but here it's just very, very difficult. So wet your sponge, and also when you're done with done with the makeup, make sure that you wash your sponges. If you have any, you know, dishwashing soap or anything like that, use them. You can reuse your sponges, but make sure you wash them very well, and because you know your oils on the face are getting on this and stuff. But don't just constantly throw away your sponges, because that's money that you're wasting, and makeup is really expensive, you'll learn. Like I said earlier, you're going to want to map out the face. Now, I am using a dark pencil, and I'm going to basically trace the areas that I'm going to want dark. And then I'm going to do white makeup, and then go back and then darken the areas they're supposed to be shadowy. Now, these are the areas that don't have bone on them. This will be the eye. Now the nose, it's cartilage, so that doesn't count, so that'll be dark as well. And the temples, and if you feel under your cheekbone, that should be dark too. So really, I'm going to show you. Now, this won't look perfect, and we're not actually making like a real skull. That would be extremely difficult to do. And that's not really what the purpose of this lesson is for. The purpose is for you to get to know your face, and for you to understand, you know, more, you know, for you to, you know, just get used to it and to see how your face is basically built. Here's your temple. I apologize if my face already looks a little messed up. I have done this a couple times, so it might look dark in some areas already. And then here, kind of, now this is, you know, black. You don't have to use black. If you have a brown, I would definitely recommend that, since you're already using dark brown. Now these are the areas that you're pretty much going to want to, well, also the nose. I won't map all of it out for you, because that'll take a little too much time. But, so you can see, these are the main areas that are dark, because there's no bone on them. And basically, you're going to want to start out with white. And the white that I have, here we go. It's CL1 white. It's Ben Nye. And for the brown, dark brown, I have CS4 dark brown. Again, both are Ben Nye. And you're going to want to use 2 sponges, one for the white and one for the dark. And when it comes to starting out, putting on the white makeup, you're not going to want to take a big glob, you know, and push really hard down and then streak it. You're going to actually make little tiny pats, because at first, now I know you can still obviously see my makeup or my face underneath, but you're going to do it in layers. That way it'll slowly become more and more opaque, and there won't be lots of streaking. You're going to do little pats. But the more you do, the more layers you put on, the whiter and whiter it's going to get, to the point, and make sure you don't want to see your skin color underneath it all. It has to be opaque, meaning that you can't see through it whatsoever. Now, when it comes to all of this, after you've done the white, you're going to want to start going in with the dark. Now it's going to get messy. You may want to redo it a couple times also, because you've got two very contrast colors, right up against each other. When normally with makeup, it's more gradual, but that's not the point of this lesson. We want to make sure that you know the construction of your face, and it's really going to help in understanding how you're going to do makeup, especially in old age as well. But just in general, it's definitely the best way to start. So I'll be back with you and you'll be able to see what I've done. All right. Okay, and there you go. You probably had quite a tough time with the smudges and whatnot, but luckily you have white and dark makeup to clean it up. If you get white in here, then use the dark and go over it, and vice versa. The white will go over a dark smudge. You just gotta go at it. As you can see, I have all the soft areas darkened. And the reason why we have you do this is because everybody's face is different. I have high cheekbones, and so the placement of mine, the shadowing, will be different from yours, because everybody's face is like a snowflake, so everybody's face is different. Other than that, I would recommend investing in some makeup remover, maybe some makeup towelettes or something like that. You're going to want to make sure you give your face a good wash, and just make sure to get all of that off. You definitely want to really look to see if you got it around the hairline, because you don't want to get this stuff off on your sheets. It's just annoying, and you'll find the more you work on makeup, the more you're gonna find it everywhere. I mean, so you got to be more careful. It's really easy to get it on you or get it on your hand, anything. You don't want your animals around. My door closed right now because I have 2 cats that would go crazy to play with this makeup. But just make sure that you've got, your own quiet place to do this makeup, because it will take a while. If you want to do a really, really good job, this should at least take about 45 minutes to an hour. But I'll give you a close up. There you go. Now hopefully I can get better lighting for you next time. I'm still definitely trying to figure out what is the best for you guys as far as seeing the application. In other videos, you'll be seeing more of me actually putting on the makeup, but I didn't want to do too much of this for you because it's pretty self-explanatory. But make sure, by the end of this, you should feel well acquainted with your face and the construction of it. If you have any questions or if you're worried about anything, please you can contact me or Judy, and we'll be more than happy to help you with anything. It will get messy, and it will get annoying at first, but try to enjoy yourself. Let it be meditative. Just really take your time and get to know your face. And I'll see you next week. All right, bye.